we decided to do our group project on gender stereotypes and the effects that they have on children. This video is intending to discuss gender norms and ways to eliminate them. What do you think is the typical female gender norm? Would you say elegant, polite, caring, and likely to be a nurse or teacher? What about for the male? Strong, masculine, maybe even a superhero? These are typically thought of in much of our society today. We did a survey and these were our common responses. They may seem harmless, but they have negative effects in many areas of our society. This is what Riley thinks of gender norms.
Would it be fair for all the girls to buy princesses and all the boys to buy superheroes?
Well, why?
Because girls want superheroes and the boys want superheroes, and the girls want pink stuff, and the boys don't want pink stuff. Yeah.
Boys want both, but why did you think they do that?
Because the companies who make these try to trick the girls into buying the pink stuff instead of stuff that boys want to buy, right?
Right, but you can buy either, right? And boys can buy either. If boys want to buy pink, they can buy pink, right?
Yeah, so then why do all the girls have to buy princesses? Some girls like superheroes, some girls like princesses. Some boy like superheroes, some boy like princesses.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
then why does all the girls have to buy pink stuff and all the boys have to buy different color stuff?
It's a good question, Riley.
Before we get into discussions about stereotypes, we need to grasp an understanding of what a stereotype is. A stereotype, as defined by Merriam-Webster, is to believe unfairly that all people or things with a particular characteristic are the same. Stereotypes develop at a very young age, even starting with the day that we are born. Girls are always represented by the color pink, and boys are always represented by the color of blue. This carries on to childhood, where boys are seen playing with maybe vehicles and superheroes, while girls are playing with princesses. This is not always seen as fair, as shown by Riley earlier. The general scope of this project was to explore a problem with our society that we thought could be harmful. We want to explore how the negative stereotypes that are developed in our childhood go on to affect gender equality as adults. Through the results of our survey, we developed an intervention plan that highlights our findings and the need for change in society when it comes to negative stereotypes. Our goal through this project is to raise awareness about the certain dangers involved with gender stereotypes and how they can negatively affect both genders throughout their entire lives.
Gender norms are developed in a variety of different ways. Things such as advertisements, children's games, family, peers, media, and other cultural norms. These images show examples of the way the norms are portrayed through toys and advertisements. You can probably recall many other examples as well. Advertisements play a huge role in furthering gender stereotypes and can encourage gender norms without you even realizing it. This video demonstrates common commercials that are essentially defining the gender norms that already exist.
What's the difference? Oh, that is more taste. I don't care, I just got one of these. Well, that's the second unmanly thing you've done today. What was the first? Yeah, I guess that was unmanly.
Man up. Choose a light beer with more taste. Grab a Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Taste greatness.
Hey, look, I mean t-shirts. Awesome. Hello, friends. We have an injury report on Jason Glaspie. As you can see, his girlfriend has removed his spine, rendering him incapable of watching the game.
Come on, silly.
Boy, that's hard to watch. lavender. How about not? Jason, get yourself the Flow TV personal television. It's live mobile TV, so now live sports goes where you go. Change out of that skirt, Jason. I think we just accidentally kissed. Quick, do something manly. Yes! Hey, let's order a pizza. Make it a big crust.
Hello? Yeah, we'd like a large thin crust pizza. Exactly. And you know what? Make it the way I like it. Loaded with mozzarella and toppings. You know I hate when you do this. Wonderful. And another thing, make it snappy because we're starving, right, boys? Chop, chop.
For fresh baked pizza today, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Always end up on your floor. This is why Swiffer Wet was invented. Even dried on stains get dissolved away with Swiffer Wet.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser now comes with the fresh scent of Febreze. The Magic Eraser gets in and tackles what's caked on. Built up. Even downright scummy.
Well, good day. Mom has a lot to do. Very busy. Okay, bye. Glade introduces Fabric and Air, the new spray that penetrates deep and gives you a long-lasting freshness.
Another origin of negative stereotypes comes from general cultural norms. From a very young age, children are taught about sex trait stereotypes. A study done by Deborah Vest, John Williams, and other notable psychologists depicts this by showing that children, even at age 8, from different countries around the world, including England, Ireland, and America, use words like assertive and tough to describe males, but words like nagging and fussy to describe females. The chart to the right here shows a list of words that were used to describe males and females by the 8-year-olds in the study. As you can see, there definitely are negative stereotypes that exist.
In order to find out if the same stereotypes we learned as children carry on into our adulthood life, we administered a general survey with questions related to gender norms to various individuals. The questions addressed showed how they perceived gender and how this perception, along with the media, affected their views. We surveyed a total of 32 people, made up of 12 males and 20 females. They came in a variety of different ages and had a variety of different jobs. Looking at our results from our survey, we found that the majority of the people that we surveyed were in agreement on several issues that surrounded gender stereotypes. So the majority of our participants that we surveyed, from both men and women's standpoint, said that in the media, men are portrayed more as career-oriented, and women are portrayed as relationship-oriented. Off of that, both groups also agreed that the media does affect the perception of gender, and it's usually inaccurately portrayed. In respect to careers, both groups agreed that men are not superior to women when it comes to being in the workplace. We did see a slight shift, depending on age, on women reaching a quote-unquote glass ceiling in the workplace. We found that the older generation, which we define as people 35 years or older, thought that women reached more of a glass ceiling in the workplace, as people younger than 35 thought that they did.
Stereotypes can be harmful in many different ways. A lot of the time in our society, people act the way they're supposed to instead of what's comfortable for them. Stereotypes are split up into males and females when it comes to sports. For example, girls at a young age are encouraged not to play football because they're not tough enough or they might get hurt. And a lot of the times, boys are encouraged not to play soccer because it's a girl sport. The video below is intending to address gender norms and discuss how they could be eliminated.
The way that any group is kept in its place is to say there's something wrong with them.
You ain't good enough to lift the dirt off our cleats. You play ball like a girl!
They are the problem. They are not smart enough. They are not brave enough.
It is still a very male-dominated world. A lot of suits, frankly.
Beginning to see, wait a minute, I am not a victim. I have something to offer. I am the solution.
In Europe and the U.S., women make up only about 3 to 4% of the CEOs and chairmen on the corporate boards.
I'm a Mary Jane. It won't take long.
Prepare to get annihilated as Bass Pro Shops and Walmart proudly present Mega Monster Truck Round.
Mr. I'll make a man out of you.
Gender discrimination or sex discrimination is the unequal treatment of a person based on sex. Women have always claimed the unequal the most, but nowadays the civil rights law of gender discrimination have been construed to protect men as well, mainly in the area of employment. If we talk about gender discrimination in the workplace, we can say women have come a long way due to the legislation and the recognition by many companies that claim diversity and gender is something they should get. We can conclude that gender discrimination still exists, but in more subtle ways than it used to be in past times. Dr. Kalin compares it with the tip of the iceberg situation. Beneath the surface, there are still a lot of things that we are not aware of. Therefore, organizations need to find remedies against the unequal treatment. This will be a challenge for the companies because it's so tough to spot it. I also think it's a good thing people like Elizabeth Kalin investigate those issues. It can help an organization to reach a solution for the problem.
The goal of that video was to hopefully make you more aware of the gender norms that exist and the potential they have to affect people. Through our research, we found that UNICEF has made one of their missions to eliminate gender disparity at all levels of education by 2015 and empower women. We think this goal is feasible, and we hope that everyone can make an effort to make a difference. We as people can contribute to stereotypes as well by allowing our children to pursue hobbies and interests that they wish to, and not what society has deemed acceptable. We also can challenge concepts that are based on inequality and aggressive and passive stereotypes. We also could break away from the regular gender norms that dictate these gender differences.